worried that at least they should have heard from the CEO of the company, that is the National Food Buffer Stock Company Limited, of which they say that they work directly with them because the agreement is that they do the supplies and then they are reimbursed some months afterwards. But this has taken so much time and it has really delayed it, so they are worried about it. But not too good things here. You see the facial expressions of these people. A lot of them are livid. They are saying that they're just going to wait on the authorities to get them their money. Some of them, especially the women in this particular group, some of them have not taken their bath because they slept here and there's no washroom available for them. They also say that they do not have funds to even go to a hotel or to go and seek, shelter somewhere else. So they are just here. They've got their food items here, some of which they've cooked already. Yesterday, for lunch, they prepared yam and shito, and in the evening
on
they
the premises.
Shito. Exactly, And so when you come here currently, you see a gallon of oil, and this is because they distribute some to the school, so they have the luxury of bringing some. They also have a cylinder here, and they also have their saucepans, and just name it. These accoutrements are supposed to help them to, still stay strong, to be able to demand what they say is due them. So, not too good news for these people who have come from all parts of the country to just register their displeasure to the Buffer Stock Company Limited.
Right. Kweku, you mentioned that they were carrying placards. Read some of the inscriptions on these placards for us.
Great. So I'll read one which is very close to me. This one says, "Enough of your deceit and intimidations." And I'm sure this is coming on the back of the promises that they've been having from the authority. You remember there was some time back, they raised these concerns, and then the Buffer Stock actually spoke to them, gave them some assurances that they were going to pay. They have also disclosed to me, of which I cannot really, say for sure, but then they say that they've also had the authorities saying that they've even disbursed some money, but they haven't received their portion. Let me read the other one. So this one says, "Our creditors are sending us to court." And this I indicated early on of one of the suppliers here who had a call just this morning from one of her debtors who says that, well, she cannot hold it any longer. The only thing she can do is to send her to court. This one says the CEO said he went for loans. So he used money to pay the loans to avoid interest. So this particular placard was explained yesterday by the spokesperson of the association, Mr. Kwaku Amedume. He says that when they spoke to the Buffer Stock Company Limited, they were told, and this is alleged, that they've used their money to defray some loans that they had gone in for. Whether it's true or not, we cannot verify. But, these are a number of the placards that have been cited here, and with their marks and with some few belongings that they say they're going to stay here until they hear from authorities.
Quick, about how many food suppliers would you say are picketing at the Buffer Stock premises at the moment?
So currently, I can say that a number of about 20. And this, they say that it's not to mean that they're not really serious about their protest. This is because most of them cannot travel from where they are to Accra, because you know that these people are dotted across the length and breadth of the country. So some are from Kumasi, some are from the Volta region, the northern region, and all of that. So you know that it costs for you to travel from those parts of the country to make yourself available here. So they say that they are actually representing the various regions. So these people, most of them are executives of the association, and they have been, saying that, well, the numbers will look very minimal, but this is not to say that they are not really concerned and they're not really pushing forth their agenda here. So the numbers, like about 15 to 20 of them are here. Most of them are women, and very few of them are men. Some of them are actually aged, and so their health conditions is deteriorating a little bit. Let me just chip in this. We were just informed that one of the suppliers had to be rushed to the hospital. She slept here over the night. And so she's currently at the 37 military hospital receiving treatment. And that's because she could not stand the conditions here. You know that mosquito bites, the harsh weather conditions and all of that. So she could not withstand. And we've been told that she has been hospitalized at the moment, you know.
Many thanks for that. So they will continue to sleep at the premises until they are heard.
Exactly, you know.
Many thanks for that. Kweku Ediama Ansa is my colleague who's currently at the National Food Buffer Stock premises, where members of the National Food Suppliers Association are still picketing to demand their 2 years arrears. Caleb has some more stories.
The management of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, says the second-year medical student who attempted suicide last night is in stable condition and is receiving treatment from doctors and counselors. The student attempted jumping from the balcony of the 5th floor of the Brunei hostel, but was rescued by some colleagues and subsequently taken to the hospital. Now, speaking to City News, the University Relations Officer of KNUST, Dr. Daniel Norris Bekwe, urged students to promptly seek support from counselors and should not resort to committing suicide.
Yesterday, at about 8:30 thereabout, PM, we had a distress call from one of our hostels on campus with the Brunei hostel of an attempted suicide. So the university quickly deployed counselors, Directorate Affairs personnel, and then the university hospital staff, some doctors, including the security personnel, to go there and see. And so by the time we got there, some of the colleagues have managed to restrain him from jumping from the 5th floor. So we quickly had to help him and take him to the university hospital. He was sedated and because he needs to be calm. The doctors and the counselors the parents were also invited, so they were also there. And so what I can say now is that for now, he's stable and investigations are ongoing to find out actually the cause of his attempted suicide, and then the various support systems that we have to offer him, we will do so. I want to say that the university has one of the most comprehensive counseling program or system in place. Under the Directorate of Student Affairs, we have counselors there. We have counselors at the various colleges, and we have counselors at the faculties. We have even gone ahead to train some of their colleagues as peer counselors.
The universities are however calling on media houses to desist from putting out the image and name of the said student in the public domain.
Let me also appeal to the media to refrain from putting too much details. The name, I've seen some media houses who have decided to put in the pictures of the young man, his name and other things. It doesn't help the situation. This is a person who was depressed and then he's receiving medical attention or counseling service. And so if this student comes out from the hospital and finds his image or name all over the media, the various media platforms, then we are worsening the situation for him. So in handling some of these things, let's apply more professionalism by making sure that at least we keep the name and the image of the young man out of the media domain. In fact, all those media houses who have published the pictures and the name of the young man should pull it down. I am appealing to them because it is not helpful. It will not help his case.
As a university, will you take action as if they don't pull these ones down? Will you write formally or will you contact?
Yes, if they fail to do so, we will contact some of the media houses. But we want to use this your platform to appeal to all the media houses that a person who has attempted suicide or a person who is depressed or a person who is even a minor. In this case, he's not a minor. But with this circumstance, you don't put his pictures and his name because we have to make sure we protect him and help him, support him to come out of whatever challenge he's facing. And putting his name and pictures there, what if tomorrow the friends start making mockery of him? And then you worsen the case. It doesn't help anybody.
Dr. Daniel Norris Bekwe is University Relations Officer, KNUST.
About 8 passengers, including a senior high school student, sustained various degrees of injuries in an accident this morning involving a Kaswa Medina bound vehicle at the Kaswa toll booth. The driver of the Sprinter bus, according to eyewitnesses, lost control of the steering wheel after he was crossed by another vehicle, causing the vehicle to crash. The passengers who sustained injuries were rushed to a nearby health facility after they were rescued by passerby. Here are some occupants of the vehicle who escaped unhurt, speaking to City News.
I was just traveling to Medina. Actually, nothing serious happened. Just that the driver was careless. There was another car which he had to, just switch to the other lane and just go. And I don't know what happened. Suddenly, we realized that the car was just dangling on the ground. It wasn't any serious. Anybody obstructed him or something. Nobody obstructed him. He was just being stupid. We went to Medina. It's a Medina loaded car. Yeah, from Kaswa.
That was a passenger of a vehicle that was involved in an accident on the Kaswa Medina highway.
One more person is feared dead after yesterday's building collapse at Assemblies, a suburb in the Ga South municipality. This brings the death toll to 2. The owner of the building, Hannah Lomote, died on the spot after the building meant to serve as a maternity and a health center caved in. City News sources at the Winneba Trauma Hospital indicates that the injured persons are also responding to treatment. Meanwhile, the Ghana National Fire Service in the Kaswa area have begun investigations to unravel the reason for the building collapse.
This is still the Citi Prime News, live on 97.3 City FM. Still to come, 3 more presidential hopefuls of the new Patriotic Party to be vetted today. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant. And she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to 97.3 City FM. This is the Citi Prime News. Let's go to the NPP, where today, being day 3, NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Kofi Kunedu-Apraku has completed his vetting. Let's go over the phone lines and speak to my colleague Charles Ousukumi, who's on standby to give us more details to this story. Many thanks for joining us, Charles. Tell us, besides Dr. Kofi Kunedu-Apraku, has anyone else arrived or has anyone else been there for their vetting?
Right, the vetting for former Agri Minister Dr. Ousukumi just began. He arrived just before Dr. Apraku's session ended. So he's the next person. So he is currently in the meeting with the vetting committee. Dr. Apraku vetting was just a little under 2 hours. It began at 10 a.m. and ended around 11:45. And so he is left. Dr. Apraku is now in the meeting and he is undergoing the process. After him, we're expecting the MP for Esikado Ketan, the Honorable Joe Kate, to complete today's session. And then tomorrow, which is the final day for the vetting of the aspirants, the former MP for Mampong, Francis Adainimo, will complete the entire process.
Many thanks for that update. Charles Ousukumi is my colleague at the vetting of NPP flag bearer hopefuls. He just told us that Dr. Kofi Kunedu-Apoku has completed his vetting, and during his vetting now is former Greek Minister Dr. Usefri Yakoto, and later Member of Parliament for Esikado Ketan Jogate will also be vetted. That will complete today's sessions. Meanwhile, the NPP says it will open nomination for its parliamentary primaries in orphan constituencies. And my colleague City News' Samir Yafe, he's here to give us more information on that particular developing story. Samir, many thanks for joining us.
Hi,
So tell us about this parliamentary primaries and nomination for parliamentary primaries in orphan constituencies. Tell us more.
Okay, so in the build-up to the party's internal elections, which include parliamentary primaries and presidential primaries, the party held the National Executive Committee meeting on the 3rd of April 2023, where it came out with modalities and timeline for both the presidential and parliamentary election. For the parliamentary, it's going to be in two folds. The first one is going to be the one for constituencies without sitting MPP MPs, or they call it the orphan constituencies, or then the constituencies with sitting members of parliament. So the ones with the sitting members of parliament is scheduled to take place next year, February of next year. But the one with without sitting members of parliament on the MPP side, which they call the orphan constituencies, is built to start in August. And then through to September through to December. So the party is announcing that on Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, it will open nominations for persons who are seeking to represent the party in the various orphan constituencies. That's constituencies without certain MP members of parliament. On the 11th of July, the party is opening a nomination, and the party will close nomination on the 10th of August, 2023 in these particular constituencies. Elections are built to take place on Saturday, September 23rd, 2023 to Saturday, December 2nd, 2023. So within these various constituencies, which is about 137, elections are going to be held from September 22nd to December 2nd. Now, the party says it has formulated some rules and regulations to govern the conduct of the parliamentary primaries election, which will be made available to all stakeholders. Now, the party says nomination forms will be obtained at a non-refundable application fee of 3,000 cedis in bankers draft payable to the New Patriotic Party MPP headquarters. It says in the event that an aspiring parliamentary candidate is denied access to nomination form at the constituency level, he or she may inquire from the regional or national secretariat through a complaint and get a form at a particular fee. Now, it says to successfully file for nomination, an aspiring parliamentary candidate must submit a non-refundable filing fee of 30,000 Ghana cedis in bankers' draft payable to the New Patriotic Party. It says in order to promote increased representation of women, youth, and persons with disability in higher political office, such as aspiring parliamentary candidates, the MPP says it will slash the filing fee of the 30,000 cedis to half, which is going to be 117,500 Ghana cedis for women, youth, and persons with disability. And the party says vetting will also take place in the various constituencies when official nominations are closed and the persons who will be nominated to lead the party, and then primaries will be held. So the primaries will be held between September 23rd, 2023 to Saturday, December 2nd, 2023.
Many thanks, Sami, for that update. Caleb has some more stories.
Still on politics, and the National Democratic Congress, NDC, is accusing the National Identification Authority, NIA, of data suppression by not making the registration of the Ghana card accessible in many parts of the country. The party's leadership claims this move is an act to deny a good number of voters access to vote in the 2024 general elections. Here is Deputy General Secretary Mustafa Gbande speaking on the issue.
As we speak today, my checks show that NIA is in certain regions undertaking what they call Premium Express Service. And the Premium Express Service, you are required to pay about 280 Ghana cedis before you can be given a Ghana card.
I thought that to how much they charge goes with those who have misplaced or coming to make some effect changes or
No, that's for emergency registration.
But not for acquire.
Not that's for emergency registration acquisition. Okay. But because you need it immediately, they does it express, and then you have to pay 250, 280 Ghana cedis in this economy where people cannot even get food to eat. At this time where the issue of Ghana card has become so important, how do we then say that it's a public service, it's a public document, when the whole intent of the institution that is supposed to be given that service is rather to make profit? Now, we are saying that the NIA is only engaged in an exercise that is geared towards preventing Ghanaians from registering for Ghana card. Number two, we also feel that the NIA is deliberately doing that to allow for data suppression, so that if it becomes the only document for registration to acquire a voter ID card, then that data that has been suppressed would have affected the election of 2024.
Mustafa Gbandi is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC.
Parliament is expected to debate the Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021, also known as the Anti-LGBTQ Bill, today. The bill seeks to prescribe LGBTQ plus and related activities, prescribe propaganda of, advocacy for, or promotion of LGBTQ and related activities, provide for the protection of and support for children, persons who are victims or accused of LGBTQ and its related activities. Parliamentary correspondent Ni Ayikwe is on the line with more details. Ni Ayi, can you tell us if the debate has started in Parliament?
Well, so the debate just started with the chairman of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, Kwame Nyimedu, moving the motion for it to start. So just as we speak, the debate is ongoing. But if you will recall, there's a bill that has been in the offing for quite a long time, with the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, directing that the Business Committee of the House should ensure that the bill is tabled for discussion for second reading. That's where the debate will take place. So today it is ongoing. We have members of the clergy, religious leaders in the House to partake in the exercise.
Is the House full? Describe the House. Is it full? Are both sides present?
For the minority side, we have most of them in the chamber to partake in the exercise, but that of the majority, we don't have quite a huge number to partake in the exercise. Those inside are not more than 50 to partake in the second reading or the debate on the anti-kill bill, as we know for today.
Nia Ukwe, we'll leave you so you can go and listen to the debate and give us details later. Many thanks for that update. Nia Ukwe Okain is our parliamentary correspondent.
The government says the ban on the use of cryptocurrencies in all transactions remains in force. Now, Minister of State and the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, says all financial institutions in the country have been directed not to engage in crypto transactions. Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam was answering questions on the floor of Parliament.
The government will continue to allow associated technologies such as blockchain and distributed ledger technology innovations in the sandbox as we explore the development of a framework. Until such a framework is in place, the government would like to reiterate its directives conveyed in several notices, including one issued on 9th March 2022, that all institutions licensed by Bank of Ghana are prohibited from facilitating cryptocurrency transactions through their platforms or agent outlets.
Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam.
The acting director of the newly refurbished Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Edward Kwao, says that the facility boasts of an amphitheater for public events, a freedom hall, a picnic area for families, among others. The renovation, which cost $3.5 million, was received with applause from a cross section of Ghanaians as a befitting monument to celebrate Ghana's first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Some observers are of the opinion that the park has been expanded given that the new facility looks bigger. But Edward Quall tells host of the City Breakfast show, Bernard Avle, that no additional parcel of land was developed during the 2-year period of renovation.
With the new facility we have now, as we saw it yesterday, we have a new receptive facility where when you come, you have a ticket booth, more than one. We have a restaurant now on the park, which we didn't used to have, and also an office space for staff. Besides that, we also have an amphitheater for people who want to rent it to have their own programs, maybe in the evening or so. We also have a freedom wall where we have images of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in different moods, when he was smiling, when he was pensive, and other of him. We also have, I would say, a new musical fountain, the first of its kind in Ghana, whereby each tune slotted into the system, the flow of the fountain is according to the rhythm of the song being played. This basically is for the night, more or less, activities. Now we also have a new, well-made picnic area for our guests. So it's a new place, very exciting for us. We hope that.
It's true. It's a big place. Did you get more land? Because the Nkrumah Mausoleum I know wasn't that big. So how did you manage to expand the place?
We didn't expand the place. It's the same area we had. So nothing in terms of space has changed. We did not encroach on any land. What we have is what we improved upon. There's no land acquired for the new park. The same old park space, that we have the same facilities that we see now.
Edward Quall shared some strategies put in place to boost visits to the park.
Local market, our target is mostly the school. So we have a team that is going to work around, trying to go around schools to promote the park, and also use our social media handles a lot, because we have a lot of youth who go onto it. So that's a target we are meeting. We are planning to do. And also about our foreign visitors who wish to come. We're also trying to establish an online ticketing system where you don't need to get to the park to get a ticket to enter the place. You buy your ticket online and come onto the space. And also, we're going to be getting more involved and doing more collaboration with event organizers to have more events on the park, because the park will, from henceforth, will stay open till somewhere beyond 9 p.m. Just have a more nightlife for people to experience and enjoy the Memorial Park as it is now.
I'm told there's an audiovisual part where you can actually experience Nkrumah. Tell me, is it like videos of him? Is it his speeches? Tell me about that place.
Yes, so that is an additional gallery, which is part of the old museum gallery. So when you enter that space, you listen to his voices, speeches he made on different occasions, and also watch some of his videos that he made on different occasions. Besides that, on the walls of the gallery, we have some of his most famous quotes embossed. So at least before you leave the space, you would have picked up one of Kwame Nkrumah's favorite quotes that he used to make. So a new experience for people. And also, the idea for that particular space, when you come in there, is such that as you enter the tunnel, you feel some tension as you step up to the first part. The philosophy is that the struggle towards independence of Ghana was not easy for Nkrumah and others. So the stress they went through for us to gain our independence. Then at the summit is a bit level, so you walk, and there's also a space for you to take good pictures of the park from on top of the museum structure, especially of the mausoleum where Kwame Nkrumah is now laid to rest. And then the other side, while descending, more or less, to talk about after independence, how far Ghana has come and how far we can go as a country.
Edward Kwao is the acting director of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park.
The head of the Antimicrobial Resistance Secretariat at the Ministry of Health, Xavier Kwame Yevuche, has disclosed plans by government to control the accessibility of antibiotics in Ghana. Speaking at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research Institute's Special Training Program for Frontline Workers, Mr. Yevuche acknowledged the growing rate of resistant infections in humans and livestock and further listed some mechanisms put in place by the sector ministry to curtail the abuse of antibiotics.
Access to antibiotics. You are right. Even at the funeral grave, we get it. It is our plan, it is in the plan that there should be a way to control it. But it's becoming so difficult, very, very difficult. Not even in Ghana. Even in the UK, the US, they still have an approved supply chain of antibiotics. Yes, because we buy antibiotics and sell to our relatives in US, UK. That is not captured in their system. They also acknowledge that it's difficult. But at least we need to be doing something. So what we plan as part of the ministry intervention is that some of these products will use the traceability system. It's an intervention at the Ministry of Health to track and trace drugs or technologies in the supply chain till the last, which means that chemical shops, those guys who take a whole pharmacy in bags, lorry stations and so on, will not get a supply. Because as a supplier, importer, at any time, the FDA, Pharmacy Council will be given access to know where those antibiotics are, the quantity where they will be. At the right forum, you will get more into this, and then so that you can also contribute.
Xavier Kwame Yevuche is head of the Antimicrobial Resistance Secretariat at the Ministry of Health.
This is still the Citi Prime News live on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, as the deadline for Citi FM and Citi TV's 2023 Literacy Challenge fast approaches, interested participants are encouraged to submit their essays. We'll bring you details of that and many other stories shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Happy birthday to you. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
After inspiring you on the Voice Factory stage last week, our talented contestants will mount the stage to perform their renditions of your favorite pop songs this Saturday. From the catchy beats of chart-topping hits to the infectious melodies that get stuck in your head, we'll be bringing you a celebration of all things pop. Get ready to be blown away by their incredible vocals, energetic dance moves, and electrifying stage presence. Prepare to have some fun this week as we enjoy some pop music on The Voice Factory Season 5. Tune in to The Voice Factory Season 5 on Saturday, 8th July 2023 at 6:30 p.m. and follow the prompts to vote for your favorite contestants via the short code *920 *973 #. You can also visit citytvonline.com/Voice Factory to vote. The Voice Factory Season 5 is brought to you by Ebony Condoms, refreshed by Eddie's Pizza, official voting partner Nalo Solutions, refreshed by McBerry Twist Cupcakes, and sponsored by Copan Hospitality. The Voice Factory is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM, Alisa Hotels, Linash Beauty Parlor, and Makeup Ghana.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for staying with us. Let's do some more stories now. Officials of the WAS Senior High School are appealing to the government to address the pressing infrastructural needs of the institution, aiming to enhance the quality of teaching and learning. The headmaster of the school expressed this concern during an interview with City News, stating that despite a significant increase in enrollment over the past few years, there has been no corresponding improvement in infrastructure. The situation has resulted in severe congestion and hindered the overall learning experience for students. City News' Latif Mahama provides further insight into the matter.
Located in the Upper West region, while Senior High School has experienced a surge in enrollment, making it one of the most popular schools in the area. The institution has nurtured and produced influential individuals, including the esteemed Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban S.K. Babin, and Supreme Court Justice Yoni Kulenji. Presently, the school, commonly known as WASEC, accommodates 2,340 students. Despite its significant contributions to the nation's human resource needs, the school is grappling with a plethora of challenges. The most prominent among them is the limited infrastructure, significantly affecting the effectiveness of teaching and learning. For instance, the school's dining hall, originally designed for 200 students, now has to cater for 2,000 students, resulting in overcrowding. This issue extends to the assembly hall and the few dormitories available.
With the type of discipline we have in recent times, our enrollment has actually overnumbered or outnumbered the current infrastructure we have. Our current population is 2,300 and still counting. So many of the students are day students and would have loved that they come into the boarding house to enable us have full control over them. And in this particular situation in which we find ourselves, if we get a 500 capacity boys dormitory and a 500 capacity girls dormitory, I think it will help with the accommodation. In addition to that, if we get an 18-unit classroom, it will serve a very great purpose. As we speak, most of the students, especially the science students, are rather using the science laboratories as their permanent classrooms. So when any other school or class wants to join to have science, it means a science class has to come out and allow them to use the equipment in the laboratory. So our current population of over 2,300 really calls for more infrastructure in the school.
In response to the present concerns raised by the headmaster, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Babin, has taken the initiative to commence the construction of an ultramodern auditorium.
2,000-seater auditorium here. Here we have the ground floor plan. That is where we presently occupy. And on the ground floor, we have an open office plan where the school can use for whatever administrative activities they may want to run as part of this facility. Like I mentioned earlier, the ground floor seats 1,600. The next drawing we have here is for the first floor plan. On this side of it, we have a gallery which seats 400. We also have a mini conference, a conference room here and a meeting room there. The conference room here seats about 100, and then the meeting room seats about 20 people. On the next drawing we have here, we have the elevation. Here we have the back elevation, the front elevation, the left and then the right elevation.
During a gathering of students and staff at WAS Senior High School, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Babin, encouraged them to maintain discipline and strive to build upon the school's past achievements.
What they build in Achimuta must build in WASEC. And what they build in Western Girls must be built in Japa. Unless it's old boys, that one we can't contest. the old boys. And I think that the old boys and the old girls here must also wake up to their responsibilities. It's part of our responsibility. I'm doing this because I'm an old boy of what? This school. You call us old bones, don't worry, you'll get there. So we are here just to inspect the project, and I want to assure you that we do everything because we are far behind the celebration of our 50th anniversary. All the celebrations that this school has undertaken, I have always been behind it. And so this is not the first project I'm doing here. I've been doing a lot of projects. I've been supplying a lot of computers.
The speaker symbolically laid the foundation block and pledged to work closely with relevant authorities to address the numerous challenges facing the school.
Inadequate infrastructure appears to be a major hindrance confronting teaching and learning at the Wa Senior High School. Authorities of the school are thus appealing to the government to help alleviate the situation. Reporting for City News, my name is Latif Mahama.
Human rights activist and member of parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu, has welcomed the decision by Tamale High Court to sentence the two persons accused of killing a 90-year-old woman, Ikuadente, in 2020. The 90-year-old woman was lynched over allegations of witchcraft leading to her death. Police in the Savannah region arrested 7 people, including the chief of the Kafaba community. The suspects, Hajia Serena Muhammad and Latifa Bomaye, after 3 years of court trial, were handed a 12-year prison sentence by the Tamale High Court yesterday. Francis Xavier Susu tells City News Parliament will soon push for the passage of the anti-witchcraft accusation bill to deal with persons, fast-track the process of dealing with such issues.
Well, it's welcome news because for far too long we've had many people who have perpetrated this level of injustice and criminality against other people under the pretext of either exorcising them or dealing with witchcraft. Though they were charged with murder, they were convicted on manslaughter. We could safely say that the 12 years may serve as a good deterrence to people who may be in that space. We thought that the case was a pure murder case, but of course, if the court is of the view that it's manslaughter, we will accept the verdict. Otherwise, we were pushing for life sentence for them on account of what they did to this poor old lady. Because, in fact, the reason why in Parliament now we are pushing very hard to pass this anti-witchcraft or witchcraft accusation bill is because if there is no accusation, then all the other follow-up events or the other follow-up unlawful activities or follow-up harm would not even occur in the first place. But because of the persistence of that witchcraft accusation, positively accusing somebody or labeling the person as a witch and wanting to deal with the witchcraft, in the manner they choose, which eventually become injurious to the people. That is why we believe that eventually, if we are successful with this bill, it will take away the source of all these accusations. That way, we don't have situations like this where somebody would mistreat another person and at the end of the day cause harm in the manner that they did in this case.
You heard the human rights activist and member of parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu.
The July 15, 2023 deadline of City FM and City TV's The Literacy Challenge 2023 is fast approaching. Interested participants must craft a captivating story of not less than 600 words, concluding with a statement, "The happiest people do not have the best of everything. They make the best of everything they have." Participants must ensure that their scripts are handwritten and endorsed by their parents. The ultimate winner will walk away with a cash prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis. Head of Programs Production at Citi TV and Citi FM, Apioko Seira Mashong Abe, is encouraging interested students to submit their entry before the deadline. She spoke on the Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
What happens is in the last week, the entries start pouring in. For the last couple of days, we've had phone calls from across the country, teachers, guardians.
I've seen you answering some
exactly.
of them.
And, you know, they're telling us that, look, we're rallying our students. Somebody called from Upper West, somebody called from Tamale. So, you know, we have a group of students. We're about to mail. Should we list anybody or reference anybody in particular on the mail? No, you don't have all the way. And it happens all the time. You know, our reigning champion, don't forget, lives in Kumasi. It's representing the Ashanti region and is the current holder of the trophy. So it is very much a national competition, and the entries are pouring in. We want to remind people, especially people who don't live in Accra, if you need to post, you should be thinking about doing that in the next couple of days. Otherwise, you miss the deadline. We need to have received it by the 15th of July. Yes. So at the end of the race, there's 10,000 Ghana cedis waiting. First prize, 10,000 Ghana cedis, and a trophy. Of course, bragging rights too. You know, but I must say that the second and third place, so that's your first runner-up, your second runner-up, they also get cash prizes. So there's a lot to look forward to, you know, and in times like this, that can go towards your education.
The literacy head of programs production at Citi TV and Citi FM, Apioko Seram Ashong Abe. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV, supported by Citi FM, and is sponsored by Ghana National Gas Company, Webby Crunchy Biscuits, by M4 Foods, SIC Insurance PLC, Prospectus Ghana Limited, and Dext Technology.
The National Petroleum Authority, NPA, in the Upper East region has clamped down on 16 illegal fuel stations, popularly known as Gao in the region. The region has seen a proliferation of reseller outlets selling petroleum products without authorization from the NPA. Upper East Regional Manager of the NPA, Bashir Natogma, who made the disclosure to the media in an interview, said the NPA Act prohibits any person other than one licensed under the Act from being in possession of a platform product, of a petroleum product in quantities unreasonably in excess of that person's immediate requirement. According to him, these resellers' outlets lack the necessary safety measures and infrastructure to handle and store petroleum products safely. The regional NPA boss advised the public about the risks associated with purchasing petroleum products from unauthorized reseller outlets and encouraged them to purchase petroleum products from authorized reseller outlets and fuel stations.
The Food and Drugs Authority is calling on the public to immediately return batches of substandard products of Fan Milk PLC, producers of Fan Yogo, to the company. This follows the recall of some batches of Fan Yogo after some customers raised concerns about the product. Consumers who recently purchased Fan Yogo took to social media to complain about the abnormal texture of the product, prompting the company's action. Speaking to Citi News, Director of Inspectorate at the FDA, Maria Lovelace Johnson, says Fan Milk PLC has halted the production of Fan Yogo. She added that FDA is working together with Fan Milk PLC to resolve the issue.
The yogurt production was stopped quickly. Now, there has even been a release by the fan manufacturer, it's another yogurt manufacturer itself, to take all the yogurt from the market. So there is a product recall. All the batches involved have been put out today. So to the public, if you have any yogurt in your possession, please return it to the nearest key distributor or depot or to the Fan Milk office. Their number is also provided in their communique, and so you just return it as soon as possible, and you will be compensated when the new ones are done.
You heard the Director of Inspectorate at the Food and Drugs Authority, Maria Lovelace Johnson. This is still the City Prime News. Stories we've brought you so far. Clergy storms Parliament ahead of debate on the promotion of proper sexual human rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill, also known as the Anti-LGBTQ Bill today. Also, a day after the National Food Suppliers Association spent the night at the National Buffer Stock Company, the disgruntled suppliers say they will not leave until their 2 years arrears are paid. We also brought you 3 more presidential hopefuls of the New Patriotic Party being vetted today. And as the deadline for City FM and City TV's 2023 Literacy Challenge fast approaches, interested participants are being encouraged to submit their essays in time. The news is live on our partner stations, Western Region, Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa Beach, 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we were live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, Adrimpa 99.9 FM in Nkarie. In the Volta region, Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi. Freedom 88.1 FM in Sogakope in the Northern region, Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East, Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. In the Northeast region, we're live on Nobia 98.1 FM in Nalarigu. My name is Inusafo, and I did this with
Caleb Kuda.
For more news, do log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. Up next is the afternoon's edition of the City Business News with Ni Latte Latte. Many thanks for tuning in and do enjoy your day.